I'm Daniela Genus, and in this video I want to talk to you about the funding trap. What is the funding trap, I hear you ask? The funding trap is when organisations, and I find particularly social enterprises, get caught in this trap of applying for funding, getting funding, applying for more funding, getting more funding, and never quite establishing themselves as a company. Social enterprise, for those of you that don't know, is a company that operates for more than profit. That doesn't mean a profit doesn't need to be made. It means that in addition to making a profit, social enterprises achieve some form of social good, and that can be working with old people and providing them with opportunities. It could be doing something that benefits the environment. There's a variety of things that social enterprises cover. If you want to find out more about social enterprises, please visit Social Enterprise UK, and they have a range of information on what a social enterprise is. I ran a social enterprise. My first business was a social enterprise, so I'm very much aware of the draw of applying for funding. It's free money after all. Well, actually, it's not free money. There are lots of things associated with funding that doesn't cost you anything. Well, it does. It actually costs you time, and time is money. If you've ever applied for funding that's worth more than maybe £5,000, you will know that putting together the application can be very, very time consuming. You have to do a lot of research. You have to have all of your financial documents ready. You have to be able to prove that your project or your service or your business or whatever it is that you're applying for the funding for can do what you say that you're going to do. And the time that it takes to put the application in is one slot of time where you're kind of wasting time, which is wasting money. The second element of time that is wasted or utilised, whichever way you want to look at it, is in actually maintaining the funding once it's been received. And different funders have different requirements, but I've had experience with many funders. My first company was quite heavily funded, so I know the requirements for monitoring and evaluation that many of the major funders, so Big Lottery, Heritage Lottery Fund, I can't think of any again off the top of my head, but I know about a lot of the different funding applications and funding bodies and their requirements. And monitoring and evaluation doesn't seem a lot when you're considering that you're getting in excess of tens of thousands of pounds, if you're lucky. But actually, it can be very, very time consuming. I remember having to fill out extensive monthly reports, extensive financial kind of figures. And if you've got an accountant, you may say or believe that you have an accountant, the accountant can take care of the finances. Well, actually, many of the funders don't ask for your financial reports as done by your accountant. They have their own forms that you have to fill in. Again, that's extra work that you don't necessarily need. So you may have heard all of that and think to yourself, well, actually, time is a small price to pay for a large amount of money. And actually, maybe it is. But you have to look at the bigger picture. Are you trying to build a business or are you trying to build a charity? If your organisation isn't self-sustainable without funding, you're not building a business. Think about the impact that you can make if you're able to generate your own income. If you're relying upon funding to boost your income, that's fine. If you've built a sustainable business and you're applying for pots of funding for extra projects or just because it's there, that's one thing. However, if without the funding your business cannot operate, then you're in a very precarious situation because funding can be pulled at any minute. There's many cases of major organisations that have received government funding for many, many years, or even Arts Council funding. I can think of quite a few examples now, but I'm not going to give them, of large organisations that were receiving Arts Council funding for many years. The funding was pulled for whatever reason, and the businesses are no more. That's because they were focused on funding as opposed to building a sustainable revenue generating business model. If that's not your focus, then you need to stop questioning what is the point of what you're doing. If the point of what you're doing is to have some sort of social impact or environmental impact, how are you going to be able to do that if your funding is taken away and your business is forced to close? These are very real questions that you need to be asking yourself. And if you're working with a social enterprise as a manager or on the board of directors, they're questions that you also need to be asking of the founder or of the CEO or whoever is leading the business. Self-sustainability is key, and self-sustainability cannot be achieved whilst you're in the funding trap. It's a vicious cycle, I know, because I was in it. And there's examples of many social enterprises that have got that balance absolutely right, or are not relying on funding at all. And it may seem like a very difficult thing to achieve. If you're trying to achieve social goals, how do you do that and generate income? Because maybe the people you're trying to help can't afford to pay for your services. That's fine. Find somebody else that will. Offer something else that people will pay for commercially. There are many great examples out there if you just look, and get some advice. Get someone on your board that's commercially driven to advise you on how to be more commercial. And stop thinking that profit is a dirty word, because it isn't. Your business has to make a profit to be a business. It's what you do with that profit that differentiates you from the standard commercial business. You take that profit and do great things with it, but you can't do great things with it if you're not making a profit. I'm Daniela Genus, thanks for watching this video. If you've got any questions on how to become more commercial as a social enterprise and to move away from the funding trap, please send me an email to hello@genusec.com. That's hello@genusec.com. If you found this video useful, please click like, please press the subscribe button, and please share on your social networks. Thank you. And I just want to say, I am not saying that funding is bad. I'm definitely not saying that, because my first business benefited greatly from funding, and I was able to work with many, many young people because of the funding that my business received. However, in hindsight, I wish I could go back and tell myself when I started my business what I'm telling you now. I think I would have been able to make a much bigger impact, and the business would have grown at a much quicker rate if I had worked out much earlier how to use the funding to my advantage to build a commercial business. So what does that mean? Instead of just taking the funding to do projects, taking the funding to help me work out how to be more commercial. So I should have been seeking funding to hire a business development manager, for example, or to trial new business ideas that could then become commercial afterwards. What we did is we looked at different projects that we felt could be commercial, got the funding, and then got caught up in the time running the actual project, and also keeping up to date with the monitoring and evaluations, which, as I said, is very time consuming. What then happened is we would get close to the end of the project and then think, oh gosh, the funding's running out, we need to work out how to make this project sustainable and commercial, instead of embedding that principle in the beginning when we first started the project or when we first received the funding. So I'm not saying you should write funding off entirely, but I'm saying if you are starting a business today, work out how to start that business and generate your own income without having to apply for funding, without having to rely upon funding. If you're already running your own business and you're heavily funded, start to put together a strategy of how to rebalance that ratio so that your commercially earned income is higher than your funded income.